Welcome to the Allied Air Power Podcast, NATO's sole broadcast that patrols the full spectrum of air, space, and cyberspace. I'm your host, Jose Houdini Davis. This week, we're taking a closer look at one of the less visible but strategically important parts of Allied Air Command's mission, military partnerships. We're joined by Major Plata of AirCom's A9 Directorate, Military Partnership Branch, the team responsible for helping build and sustain relationship with NATO's partner nations across the air domain. In the episode, we're going to explore what the work actually looks like behind the scenes, coordinating mobile training teams, connecting partner nations with allied subject matter experts, and turning cooperation from a political concept into something practical and operational. This week, we're talking partnerships, preparedness, and the power of relationships in Allied air power. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for being on NATO's Allied Air Power Podcast. First, I'd just like to ask you, just tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you came about working in the military partnership branch in the A9 Directorate at AirCom.
All right. Well, first off, good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to be part of the Allied Air Power Podcast. So just a little bit about myself. I've been in the Air Force for 16 years, and I commissioned through the ROTC program from the University of Texas at San Antonio.
Wait a minute. UTSA?
Yes.
Did I ever tell you I'm from San Antonio, sir?
No.
Small up. I'm glad this podcast is good for something. Anyway, keep going, sir.
So I started out in the career broadening tour in aircraft maintenance at Dyess Air Force Base, Texas, specifically with the B-1 bomber. And then from there, after spending time 3.5 years there, I moved over to the acquisitions career field, and where I've been a program manager since 2014. I've been assigned twice to Robins Air Force Base in Georgia, where I worked in the electronic warfare and avionics program office, and then also the C-130 program office. And then I also did a 3.5-year tour with the Defense Contract Management Agency over in Boeing, Seattle, specifically working with the KC-46 refueling tanker, which was a great opportunity. And then for my next job, I wanted something overseas, but it's rare for someone in the acquisition career field to get selected for something like that. But I saw this job pop up and that it was open to all the Air Force specialty codes. And it also dealt with NATO, so I applied and luckily got selected. So it's been a good experience. Prior to coming here, I had a limited understanding of NATO. However, after working in this position here at AirCom, especially interacting with the partner nations and SHAPE, the Supreme, for the folks that don't know, Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe over in Belgium, I've significantly deepened my understanding of its mission and the impact.
That's awesome. So from planes to people,
yeah,
as a career progression there. After this recording, we got to talk San Antonio. Gosh, some good Tex-Mex.
Oh yeah, that's what I miss is the food.
Well, sir, for our listeners who are not familiar, in particular with AirCom's partnership mission, what does the military partnership branch do day to day, and why does that kind of work matter for NATO air and space power?
So the military partnership branch is one of two branches within the A9 division, which we fall under. Within the military partnership branch, we plan mobile training team trips to the partner nations. We also find the subject matter experts to brief on the different air-related topics that we offer. We also set up travel, lodging for all the MTT team members. There's one person from our branch, however, that does lead the MTT, and then we also travel with the team to wherever it is that they're going. That one person, whoever's leading the MTT, will provide a short presentation about NATO, AirCom, and who we are and what we do. So just give them a better understanding, so we don't just show up and jump right into the briefing. It's not a simple process. We must ensure we communicate and coordinate with the PNMRs, which is the partner nation military reps. They're located over at SHAPE. And I forgot to mention the SHAPE Partnership Directorate is where we also get all our guidance for partnership activities. And the PNMRs are also our liaisons with the partner nations. So we work with them to coordinate the dates and the logistics of the MTT behind the scenes. And then all this work matters because for AirCom and NATO, because we're reinforcing and in some instances building new military relationships with the 35 partner nations, all who have different expectations. And the goal is to best meet those expectations of the partner nations while balancing the political interest of the allies.
Right. And speaking of MTTs, I mean, because I've only been able to see it from the outside in with my own a NATO boss, being asked to present in Morocco or Qatar or wherever. Um, how I understand it, a key part of AirCom's partnership mission is to build real relationships with the partner air forces in particular. And one of those practical ways, like you said, are the mobile training teams or the MTTs. So, from your perspective, how do you see these MTTs helping build trust, improve professional relationships, and just turn partnership from this kind of concept into an actually meaningful thing, operationally speaking?
No, that's a good question. AirCom's MTTs help build trust by offering partner nations unclassified level training opportunities in air doctrine, tactics, techniques, procedures, and methods on a wide range of air concepts. Like some of our courses include air operational planning process, airspace management, force protection, space operations, and even public affairs. NATO's other allied service commands like LANCOM and MARCOM, and also NATO's Joint Force Commands offer their own specific tailored MTT courses. Our overall aim is to develop each partner nation's air capabilities and then to directly affect security cooperation across the globe. So in turn, they can use what they learn from what we and put it into practice with their own units. These MTTs, they help build trust and mutual confidence by keeping the lines of communication open and dispelling any misperceptions that they may have of AirCom or NATO as a whole. The training opportunities are offered to partner nations at no cost, so that should help incentivize them to get involved more. And then also they can request these courses depending on their individual tailored partnership plans, which are developed at SHAPE, and some of them are not all the same. So some may be allowed to take a space course while others can't, and it's just due to the political agreement that they have with at the higher levels. Here at AirCom, we average about 20 MTTs a year, but receive an upward of 40 requests. So we can only accomplish about half of those based on the manpower we currently have.
That's a lot of traveling.
Oh yeah.
So, from your perspective, talking kind of long term, that strategic value of military partnerships, specifically in the air domain, how do you think these relationships strengthen our a deterrence, stability, and just NATO's readiness as a whole before a crisis ever begins?
Okay. Well, I've learned that there are three core tasks, or we call them pillars, that support NATO's collective defense. First one, deterrence and defense. Second, crisis prevention. And the third, cooperative security. So these three core tasks are rooted on the Allies' cooperation and on the partnerships that NATO has. So these partnerships are an important part of NATO's identity and is essential to success. At our current level here, military cooperation isn't just for political dialogue, but to provide some knowledge and understanding of certain air-related topics in the hopes of helping to enhance the partner nation's capabilities. And as I mentioned previously, we deal with 35 partners who all have different expectations. So some may only want to maintain a political dialogue with NATO and relations of trust. Others may have interest in capacity building, like building their units' knowledge and understanding and seeking to be interoperable with NATO. And then there could also be some who are interested in applying to join the alliance. So combining NATO's interest and partner nation expectations is the best way to optimize relationships and set up a win-win situation.
Wow. So you guys are doing a lot for NATO. I think we tend to focus, internally about the 32 members and everything, but there's a whole bigger world out there that NATO interacts with. So thank you so much for your time, for educating us on what the A9 division does here at HQ Aircon. My last question is a personal question on what NATO means to you specifically.
All right. Well, when I think of NATO, I think of a team or alliance where members look out for each other's safety. NATO members, we work together to keep the peace and security. If one of our members is attacked, we're all supposed to help and defend them. The idea is that it's a collective defense. Also, NATO's decisions are made by a consensus, meaning that every member must agree. So if one member nation says no matter how big or small, the group must keep discussing whatever the topic is. So in practice, each NATO member has an equal say.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly.
Right? Well, thank you, sir, for being on the show. Major Plata, you have a great day.
Thank you. And thanks again for this opportunity.
That wraps up this flight of the Allied Air Power Podcast, where news-driven updates meet the authentic voices behind the mission to defend every inch of NATO territory. Today, we looked outward to understand how NATO interacts with the greater world with partner nations, from Ukraine to Colombia. We touched the surface of how relationships are developed and air power ideas are exchanged. Now, if you found value in today's episode, share the show and leave a rating so others can navigate airspace and cyberspace with us. Explore deeper coverage anytime at ac.nato.int and send us any questions or topics you'd like us to tackle. Until our next sortie, stand ready in the air, secure in cyberspace, and steady on the path to the stars.